What's a man or a king? In response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, knock grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? In response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted, this what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. Oh, what's this? Your boy had an ingrown hair. He had to take it out. You heard me? So, put on the healing patch. That's what you do, baby. But at the end of the day, still got to do this content. Frontline Gaming streams, we were rocking today. Had so much fun. Dudes jumped in the Discord, had some stuff going on. Saturday, I got a treat for y'all at King's Corner where we're going to talk about some stuff. Now, I got a chance to see the Hewlett-Packard, I think it was a VP, come out and talk about them thinking about using Steam instead of Windows. Cool. Great. Guess where Steam's going to be? On Windows. Wow! That happened to you. That was a thing. Now, I just got to say, I just want to say, you know what? First of all, I got to dress up like the PlayStation dudes when I do this. Sorry. So, if you're going to act like a clown, you got to look like a clown. You understand what I'm saying? You PlayStation dudes are doing a lot of clownish things. And we find out that you really are about that Xbox life because you're the clowns. All of you with your PlayStation channels doing clown stuff, being a clown at all times. But listen, I have to dress up like you because I have to put on a clown mindset, put on my clown head and act like you clowns. So what I'm going to tell you is keep spending money, keep funding me fun. I actually enjoy each and every last one of you buying all the Xbox games. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about everything that Xbox is doing that you can't do, won't do, and will not actually be doing. But we will be talking about what Xbox is doing to you. Right? So as a poor begging pony, you guys, get your hooves ready. Get ready to race because April can't get here too fast. I cannot wait to hear your bank accounts go tweep, tweep, and y'all lose all that wonderful cash. Let's get to these topics. The wildest thing about revisionist history is a lot of people like to act like we don't remember, like the internet doesn't remember, like we don't know. This is the most bugged out thing that I saw today. Ex-PlayStation boss Shawn Layden says he left Sony in part because of a pivot to live service. When Shawn Layden was there and he was unceremoniously bounced from his position, you got to remember, Jim made his job redundant and his key card didn't work and they had to escort him out of the building. Shawn has an inflated ego and thought process when it comes to what really happened, what was truly the facts, and what made up story that he wants you to believe now. Now, it's great that he bounced back and he's over at Tencent. Now, Tencent isn't as prominent when it comes to the gaming space as the PlayStation brand, a brand that was cultivated on organic. It always kills me when they say organic with Sony. PlayStation was built on gaming, being bold, brash in the space, and making a name for themselves in the console space, right? Because remember, they were known for TVs, Walkman, Discman, everything other than gaming, and they made a name for themselves. They carved away, and they made great products. So when he tells you that, they made a pivot to live service games and that's it, that's a damn lie. All right, for many fans, the PlayStation 4 years was defined by blockbuster single-player Game of the Year contenders like God of War, Spider-Man, and then the PlayStation 5 arrived in 2020, and Sony turned its attention to live service games with the hopes of capturing a piece of the growing multiplayer market. Former executive Shawn Layden, who abruptly left Sony after more than 30 years of service right before the new hardware launch, recently suggested strategy pivot was the part of the reason behind his departure. To be honest, the company is making strategic decisions about where they want to take us as a platform for the future, with a heavy emphasis on gaming as a service, live service gaming, subscription formulas, recurring revenue, and whatnot. And that was not my wheelhouse, Layden said, who was the chairman of SIE Worldwide Studios from 2014 to 2019, and said in a recent podcast interview, Save the State. I just make things like God of War and Spider-Man and Last of Us, Uncharted, Horizon. I continued. I didn't have the vision or the energy to try, to take this to a new era of live service gaming. So all that considered, it seemed like a good time to step down after 32 years at Sony. My God, if Jim Ryan can just stand up, wave his hands, and say that's not how it went. And I'm pretty sure the moment that you get Jim Ryan's account of everything that went on, you would see different things. You won't see that. Shawn Layden left September 2019, a little over a year before the launch of the PlayStation 5. His visionary leadership will be greatly missed. At the PlayStation account tweeted at that time, "We wish him success in the future endeavors and are deeply grateful for his years of service. Thank you, Shawn." That move wasn't accompanied by a formal press release. It just came 6 months after Jim Ryan was promoted to the PlayStation CEO wrote, listen, the move wasn't accompanied by a formal press release. It came just 6 months after Jim Ryan was promoted to PlayStation CEO role. When asked about the departure in 2021, whether it was related to internal disagreements, Layden told Bloomberg it simply felt like the right time to put the pin in his legacy. I think it took my time at the moment and I saw the best take it now. He said, back in 2021, I couldn't be happier. And since then, players have seen Ryan replaced as well. In 2024, corporate reshuffle temporarily saw PlayStation have two CEOs, co-CEOs, and also seen the live service pivot go nowhere quickly. While PlayStation 5 sales continue to outpace those of the PlayStation 4 in the US, even without a price cut over 4 years into the console generation, there's a sense that Sony live service ambitions, this hardware cycle, have come at an expense of delivering more single-player hits and experiments with new franchises the publisher's first-party portfolio historically been known for. And the fruits of the live service approach have been few and far between. Listen, they cut all of them. They killed all of them. All right, you got Helldivers that made it out. Concord fell definitely on deaf ears. You have the stagnation of Destiny 2. You can say that they killed Destiny 2. They killed a ton of multiplayer projects. Technically, they gave up without even trying. Like, who is these dudes? This ain't the Sony that I know. And for him to sit there and be disingenuous and talk about, listen, you need to make multiplayer games. You need to make games of service. You need to do that while at the same time continuing what your pedigree is. You were not part of that plan. Because the guy that was in charge, the guy that removed you, the guy that turned off your key card, the guy that dropped the price on PlayStation Now and then he did the merger with PlayStation Plus, you do not remember all of that stuff? You had so much things going on that you never concentrated on the actual making money of the business. Jim concentrated on making money of the business. They are profitable. With you, they were redlining. They were actually looking at their mortality every other month. Your games were selling, but were they profitable? That's why you don't see other games come out. Terrible, man. Terrible revisioning of history on your part to make it seem like I left on my own accord. That's a damn lie. There are still upcoming multiplayer projects from Sony like Shooter from Fair Games waiting in the wings, but the company has now canceled more of them than it previously promised by 2026. A spokesman for Sony told Bloomberg earlier this year it will continue to make single-player multiplayer games, though it's unclear what exact ratio moving forward. The company recently revealed the new single-player projects, including Naughty Dog's Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet, and one from House Marquee, Soros, both of which is promising, but could be years away from release. Let's keep this real. Let's keep it real. If you really want to keep it real, let's keep it real. Intergalactic and Soros is nowhere near coming out. Nowhere near coming out. Right now, Neil Druckmann is worrying about the stuff that he's worrying about, and House Marquee is worrying about. They just got the budget. They just got 77 million, I believe, for that game. So that game is in its concept mode, and they're whiteboarding it right now. Whiteboarding is when you put your ideas up there and you figure out what's going to land inside budget. What are you going to focus on? What are the stuff that you're going to worry about? I'm pretty sure that multiplayer would be a thing when it comes to this game. Reoccurring stuff will be a thing to this game, because the first game really didn't have all that stuff, and it needed that stuff in order to keep it in the news cycle. Right? So Intergalactic, what is that game going to be? Neil Druckmann said himself that he doesn't have any idea what that game is going to be. So we're still at the moments where making games and balancing act, reshuffling, haven't heard anything from Wolverine. Still don't know if Ghost of Yote is coming out this year. It's a lot of things that they're worrying, and they're betting heavy on third-party support. This is where Microsoft and Xbox come in. Next month, you're going to see the largest capitalization of a platform that has a dearth of first-party titles being done by Microsoft. Microsoft is invading the PlayStation nation in the droves. They're attacking them in ways that is you haven't heard of this before. And the funnier part about it is we're seeing the mortality of PlayStation right before our very eyes. The chink in the armor is the fact that you have no games, and Microsoft will make sure that they fill up your first person, your whatever you need. You need AAA bangers, they will have them over there at the detriment of your wallet and your listing. It's crazy to see you guys champion this, but we're going to talk about financially how you dudes are out of your minds. Now, this is a petition I can get behind. I can get behind this petition because I used to play these games super heavy. A new petition has a request for Xbox Game Pass. Xbox fans desire Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 on Xbox platform Viva Game Pass due to the lack of availability. Understand, I used to play these games nonstop all day, every day. And Xbox players need to previously own digital versions or console with disc drive to play Valve games on new systems. Facts. I do have those games, and I do have it there. Valve has yet to release the games on the new Xbox console, but possible Steam integration might change this in the future. Xbox and Valve fans are calling for Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 to be added to Xbox Game Pass at a very the least the current Xbox store. While previously available on 360 Marketplace, players on current gen consoles like Xbox Series X and X are lamenting a limited availability of Valve games and want them added to Game Pass. I'm definitely down for this because, listen, I used to be Left 4 Dead all day. I used to run those games all the time. Trust and believe those were probably some of the best games. I thought Back 4 Blood would quench that thirst. Well, Back 4 Blood didn't do any of that. I didn't like, I mean, Back 4 Blood was okay. I didn't like the mechanics. I like the simplicity of Left 4 Dead 2 with a couple of new infected and heroes. It was a dope formula. You can continue to build on those formulas without destroying it, adding all this extra goofy stuff and doing all it. You don't have to. They was gonna do it with Evolve. You don't remember Evolved, and it came and it missed, man. I tried to support. I tried to support every time you guys went out and did it. I tried to support, but come on, man. A new petition is asking for Xbox and Valve to bring Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 back to the Xbox ecosystem via the Game Pass or the Game Store. The petition, started by Jocelyn Mines, has pointed out that the gaming shifts to purely digital, older games becoming less accessible. The subject has worried players, especially regarding game preservation. While Left 4 Dead series is easily acquired on Steam for PC, it's not available to purchase via Microsoft or Xbox Game Store anymore, and players aren't happy about it. The move to digital comes with drawbacks. I've been telling people for a long time. The gaming world increasingly pivoting towards selling games digitally due to increasing convenience and reduction in cost by cutting production and shipments on disc. This has led to console manufacturers releasing digital-only systems like the Xbox Series X, which can only work for digital copies of games. Thanks to backward compatibility, Left 4 Dead can be played on newer Xbox systems, but only in one or two ways. Xbox owners have to have either previously purchased the game digitally before an Xbox 360 marketplace shutdown, which can then be played through backward compatibility or current Xbox Series X and X, or they can need an Xbox Series X console and a disc drive and a physical copy of those games. Those who choose discless digital consoles didn't purchase a digital version of the game prior to delisting are simply out of luck at this time. With games like Portal series coming to Nintendo Switch in recent times, it may come to a surprise to some gamers that Valve hasn't re-released these games for newer Xbox consoles. The company may simply not be interested in pursuing what at the time, especially if it doesn't think it could generate enough profit to make it worthwhile. However, recent leaks indicate that Steam could be coming to Xbox. If this turns out to be the case, Xbox gamers will be able to access Valve's full library again. And this is the part that we're talking about. You poor begging ponies think it's all about you. It's not about you, man. There's games on Steam, there's games on the PC that has been delisted on the Xbox or has not been available for the Xbox that we want to get our hands on. We want to play these games. So in wanting to play these games, we're definitely going to make sure that we put up the petitions. We let Microsoft know, yes, you and Steam need to talk to each other. Y'all need to make this happen. Jump in a Discord, play the game, play with your friends, get stuff running. Listen, the device is going to sell like hotcakes, period. And I think that's a fair of what these PlayStation dudes are worrying about. We're not worrying about you. Let us go do what we're going to do. You do what you're going to do. And then you go about your damn business while we allow us to have some fun, because that's all we're going to do. Have some fun. We don't care about you, but you worry about us. It's absolutely insane. But at the end of the day, when you Xbox, I mean, come on now. What else you gonna do? Xbox Game Pass adds Blizzard Arcade Collection today. Now, I know y'all like, what the hell is a Blizzard Arcade Collection? They have an arcade collection? Listen, I thought the same thing till I looked inside and I saw exactly what the 3 games were that I was like, okay, I remember those games. Now, the Xbox Game Pass gets another arcade Blizzard game, Blizzard Arcade Collection. And, all right, before you start going crazy, listen, it's one that I'm really want to download and play. That's Blackthorn. And then you have Lost Vikings and Lost Vikings 2, Rock and Roll Racing, and RPM Racing. RPM Racing is dope, is what I was interested in. Ain't really gonna go crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how can I say it? These are games and these are titles that are worth your time if you're in a retro sense of it, right? Blackthorn is freaking fun. It was fun. I forgot. I think I had it on CDI. Did I get it on CDI? I don't know. And I think it came out for the 3DO. But I remember playing both of them. I think I played Blackthorn on my Super Nintendo as well. Back in the days, we would buy these games 5 or 6 times for different consoles. This is why I can't wait till we get to the point where we just buy one game, one console, play it out. That's about it. But we used to do that to see the differences in every game. Now, you had Lost Vikings. I think the Nintendo version, the Super Nintendo version of Lost Vikings was probably the dopest one. RPM Racing was dope. Rock and Roll Racing was dope. These are titles that, quick burst titles, a little bit of longevity inside the titles, but some good harkening back to yesteryear where gaming sensibilities were kind of, gameplay first. And I think gameplay first means a lot. We need to have a long cut scene and none of this stuff. Gameplay. Get to the gameplay. Get to some quirky stuff. Get to your hook. Get to the game. And that's what gaming was about. And it's inside Game Pass, so go check it out. Now, anybody looking forward to Atomfall's, Xbox Game Pass title Atomfall looks drastically last gen, says Tech Review. Digital Foundry goes in on the game. With Atomfall out now on on early access form, we're starting to see footage of the game crop up online. Of course, the team at Digital Foundry has taken a closer look at the game and how it looks on current gen consoles and PC. Now, this game drops inside Game Pass. Me personally, this is the reason why Game Pass is made. Game Pass is made for you to try before you buy. And this is a perfect scenario. Now, I feel sorry for a PlayStation dude who ran out and purchased the game and feels that the game doesn't reach the lofty aspirations of current gen titles. But what they say is the texture quality falls flat on current gen systems. For start, the low resolution asset used for a great many surfaces. Screen space reflections are also a distraction. Where the technique is used on console as a large water or bodies flicker with the player movement. And finally, image quality is lacking due to the game's anti-aliasing method struggling to address the flicker and noise during most camera movements. The matter of the image quality is where Atomfall still disappoints no matter what platform you pick. The analysis go on to say the Xbox Series S version is hard to recommend due to the game's 30 frames per second target, with this performance level adding a noticeable increase to input lag over playing the higher frame rates of the other console. To be fair, the developers are rebellion. The fact that Atomfall may look last gen can in part attribute to the fact that the game is actually last gen release too. So yeah, it's on Xbox One, it's on PlayStation 4, and this is why these cross-gen titles need to stop popping up. If you were one of those people that was looking forward to this title, I honestly gonna tell you, man, this is where we got to start petitioning against these last gen titles, making it to current gen. Now, if Atomfall was a title that you was looking out for, which you wanted to play, Game Pass is going to be your way to jump into this. If you have a Series S or an X, you're going to understand the differences. Series S costs significantly less than a Series X. You're going to get what you paid for. You're not going to get a Whopper. If you got Whopper Junior money, that's exactly what you're going to get. If you're on PlayStation, you got to be very discerning. I don't see too many differences between the PlayStation 5 Pro and the PlayStation 5 base. But again, if you're going to purchase the game and you're looking to get the game and you don't have the opportunity to try before you buy, just make sure that you look at all the outlets that actually put the games through their performance. Me personally, I'm going to be playing it through Game Pass, and I'm going to check the game out, and I'm going to give my critique on the game after I have the game in hand. Other than just going through tech demos or going through them playing the game, I'm not going to let somebody try my food before I eat it. I'm going to eat my food, and I'm going to give you my assessment of it. I'm going to let you know. The game could look like an old last-gen game, but then actually have some good replayability to it. But what needs to stop is making games for last-gen hardware. It has to be done with. It has to be done. It has to be thrown away. I did not buy current gen hardware to be playing last gen games. This is not it. This is not what I'm looking for. And this is not what the consumer wants. Please make this gen a priority, because you guys are already talking about the next consoles and you have not made this gen a priority. You developers are the ones that are the cause for this blame. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. And in a game that continues to amaze me to this day, No Man's Sky brings the most surprising update yet to the Xbox Game Pass, which is crazy. If you didn't know that No Man's Sky is inside Game Pass, go try that out. I highly recommend this game because this is the one game that didn't deliver on its initial drop, but actually, like Redfall, got way better over time after all the hard work, and even surpassed Redfall when it comes to all the hard work they continue to do, where Redfall stopped giving you updates and stop giving you DLC and stop bringing more new to the game, where it's pretty much where it is in time. No Man's Sky has taken that banner and continued to go forward. We got yet another No Man's Sky update landing on Xbox Game Pass today. The update is called No Man's Sky Relics, and it's described by the team as possibly their most surprising update yet. No Man's Sky Relics bring archaeology to the game, allowing you to unearth massive variety of prehistoric bones, some of which are very rare to find and will net you some pretty good pennies in the space station. You need to really try this. As it's mentioned that some of the greatest treasures won't be easy to come by, as they are guarded by dangerous artifact creatures that can be easily awoken from their eon-long slumber. If you're interested in the new No Man's Sky update available now in Game Pass and beyond, the developer said they can't reveal what else it has planned for the 9-year-old game in 2025. It's a gift that keeps on giving. And I totally agree with this. I support this. I stand by this. And if you're one of those people that has lost themselves in No Man's Sky, if you found Starfield lacking and you said that you wanted to do a little bit more exploration, worlds that were a little bit more denser, these are procedurally generated worlds. At the same time, this is why I have hope for Starfield, because whereas that's an RPG and does way more different things than No Man's Sky in its own right does a lot of things well too. So if you don't like the RPG aspect of Starfield, well, definitely check out No Man's Sky. And like I said, Game Pass is the gift that keeps on giving. No Man's Sky is there, and they continue to work on all the stuff that they've been promising and more. Okay, so Game Pass is doing all of this stuff for free-to-play games. You're going to get a ton of more perks that's going to be launching into the Game Pass ecosystem. All right, Game Pass adding perks for Call of Duty, Warzone, Overwatch, and more. Subscribing to Game Pass grants access to a vast library of games. However, the service offers subscriber access to perks for various games as well. It seems Microsoft is increasing its partnerships with several developers and publishers. Subscribers can start expecting more benefits on free-to-play games as a result. I've noticed that. Like, if you just look right now, they have Smite 2, they have Naraka Blade Point. Well, Smite 2 is in beta, and, the finals. And the number will expand in the month of April with another 4 games already confirmed. Now, I know you're trying to say, like, what is the stuff that's going to be added? A lot of stuff that I get a lot of perks in games, and I just go in and I click them, I download them, say maybe a boat in a game, a World of Boats, or World of Tanks. Get a tank. It's a lot of different stuff that they add to these for these perks, but this is stuff that I think that you'll be intrigued to have, want to have, and because you have Game Pass, if you play a lot of those titles like myself, I do play a lot of free-to-play titles. I do get sucked into the whirlpools of free-to-play. So far, Xbox confirmed that the perks will be available for Call of Duty Warzone in April, Asphalt Legends Unite, Enlisted, and War Thunder. Unfortunately, nothing has been revealed about the kind of perks that they will be adding for these games, but hopefully subscribers can expect to see something just as substantial. In the case of Call of Duty Warzone, players probably shouldn't expect any exclusive content like Xbox headgear, Naraka Blade Point is getting. Xbox talked about moving away from exclusive content deals for Call of Duty following the company's acquisition of Blizzard. That's because of what the deal was struck with PlayStation, but they will have way more stuff to talk about in the next coming months. Well, next month. It's right around the corner. Didn't I tell you that it was going to be a takeover? The upcoming Xbox releases top PlayStation stores in multiple regions. Look at that. Pre-orders. See who's rocking the house? Despite Xbox fans may feel about Microsoft releasing their first-party software on the biggest rival's platform, there's no denying that it certainly seems to be achieving what Xbox was after, selling more games. Now, as we approach the release of both Indiana Jones: The Great Circa and Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation in April, both upcoming Xbox releases top the PlayStation Store in multiple regions for pre-orders. We need to talk about this. It's seen across, PlayStation stores in the U.S., Canada, Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal, France. It's beyond me. It's beyond me that right now we're going to talk about what's really going on with these guys. You got to think about this, right? These port begging definitely did exactly what they needed to do, and Xbox saw the need and capitalized on them, actually using their own flawed logic against them. Now, Indiana Jones has been out on Xbox since December, since Christmas, right? And now we're in March, it's going in April. So you say December, January, February, March, April, 5 months, and then the game comes out. The game comes out over there. So if you really wanted to play the game on Xbox or PlayStation and you didn't have an Xbox, then you just waited and you get it now, right? Now, you're going to talk about Forza Horizon 5, which is a 5-year-old game. 5 months, 5 years. You guys get to play them. Now, good. Check this out. At full price, right? That's the best part about this. This is the part that's going to kick you in the nuts and break you. They're looking at $100 plus for the early access editions of these games. You take 2 of those games. Let's say they buy both, right? Buy some DLC, some whatever. The big packages come with all of that stuff. You buy that, right? If you would have just brought yourself a used Series X, got yourself Game Pass, you play all those games immediately. You didn't have to wait for nothing. Series S, have an extra console. This is where they're using your frivolous spending against you. This is where they're using your lack of money management against you. Now, who am I to worry about your cash? Nobody. Don't need to worry about your cash. I want you to continue what you're doing. Spend them out of business, right? Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how we do over here. We're going to run it up on them bumps, right? I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. That's the whole game plan. Have you idiots don't think. Continue to do what you do. You could have brought Game Pass, played those games, brought an Xbox. You got high-power PC, right? You could have just logged in, got Game Pass, played the games, did your thing. You didn't. So either you don't have a high-power PC, boom, you're cash-strapped and you're just going to wait. But if you're cash-strapped, how are you going to afford the games? So either you're just one of those individuals that's a knucklehead and continue to be a knucklehead. Who am I to stop you from being one? Go do you. I do own a PlayStation 4 Pro. I mean, a PlayStation 5 Pro. I have a PlayStation 4 Pro too as well. But I do have a PlayStation 5 Pro. I will buy a game or two when they come out once or twice a year, whenever they do come out. Do you know how few and far between that is? Wrap your mind around this, Pilgrim. Xbox is going to be dropping games at such a rate you won't be able to keep up, because the following month, Doom the Dark Ages comes out. Yeah, that's going straight in Game Pass. But for your dumb behind, you're buying it. 2 months, over $300 and some odd dollars. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up? Stop trying to impress people that don't give a damn about you. Stop trying to impress these fake YouTubers that actually got Game Pass or getting the game gifted to them or getting the game sent to them for a review copy, being disingenuous to their fan base. Stop following idiots that actually don't have your best interests at heart. They're looking at you laughing. And I'm sitting there like, I can't believe these idiots. But y'all continue doing what you're doing. At the end of the day, it's not for me to tell you don't spend your money. Actually, everybody wants you to. I'm the only one saying that doesn't make good business sense. You could have did way more. Listen, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. Hoping and dreaming is not the thing. But listen, I've told you enough times to go out and buy an Xbox. You don't do it because you're in a fake cult. In your head, you're in a group of people that ain't in that group with you. You're the only dude championing something that ain't championing you. Value yourself, value your dollar, becoming a consumer. That part is great because as a consumer, then you start looking at your cash saying, my cash shouldn't be doing that. It should be doing this because it'll get me this, which is greater. But you simple-minded, there's words that I can use for you. But I'll leave that for another channel. Well, this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King, where Xbox is poised to take over this generation from the inside out. Pause. And also bring you consoles that are definitely going to take over the industry, where you poor begging ponies are terrified. I could put up videos of you crying. I could put up videos of you saying that King is lying. I'm 98% right all the time. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how I do it. I'm going to run it up on you bumps. And I'm going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it on all those 5 games that just dropped inside Game Pass. But I was playing Neon Abyss today. If y'all got a chance to see me on Frontline Gaming streams, it was something to behold. We had some good fun over there. I was talking with Eternal. You know, he's a PlayStation guy who has an Xbox, who said he doesn't use Game Pass. I find that very hard to believe, but I don't give a damn how he spends his money. Have fun, Eternal. I love you. I love the fact that you come to each and every video I drop. You also go to Frontline Gaming streams where we're growing the channel. And also I got some new stuff. King's Corner is about to pop off and you guys are about to see some great stuff happening. But again, I'm going to tell you dudes, try to play the Game Pass.